I am Mary Wertz, and I am currently serving as fire chief. I started in the fire service at 14 as an explorer here in December of 2000, and I became a firefighter 4 years later, December 2004, and I've been serving ever since.
So what inspired you to join the fire service?
So, my inspiration was really just getting to do something. I needed a direction in life and I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go. And being here and seeing what firefighters do as a young girl was just exactly what I was looking for. It was the the service to the community, the keeping busy all the time. It was what I was looking for. I needed direction, and that's where I found it.
So that direction, you ended up becoming Woodbridge Township's first female fire chief
Yes,
in all of the 9 fire companies, across all the 9 fire companies in the
yes,
in the town. Your father was a firefighter. So as a child, were you around the firehouse often?
yes. We had a very strong family community within the firehouse. So when I was younger, we had a big group of guys who had young children. We had a very strong um, ladies auxiliary, and we had a lot of events here, and we all grew up together. It was a very big community. We did holidays here. We did New Year's Eve parties and Easter egg hunts, Halloween costume parades. So we were always here. It was just our fire family.
What do you remember about your first days as a firefighter?
So, most memorable was my first fire call as an explorer. My father was still active as a firefighter. And I will never forget the pager going off and him looking at me and going, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I want to go." And it was nothing spectacular. It was a water leak in a furniture warehouse within our district. And they had broken the sprinkler head off of the wall, as they did many, many, many times. So the call was nothing spectacular, but the first time hearing the pager go off that I could actually go with him was, I will never forget that call.
You rode the truck, you went to the scene, you
Yes.
were able to, oh,
Yeah,
wonderful.
so as explorers, we were able to train and respond. So we have riding explorers and non-riding explorers. And when I joined, I immediately wanted to ride on the fire trucks. So that was within a week or two, I was able to do that. I did all the training that I had to do so that I could be going on fire calls with my dad.
Who would not want to ride a fire truck?
Exactly.
Do you remember putting on your turnout gear the first time?
I do, but we had practiced. You have to do it within a certain time, and they were very strict. I got no special treatment. Um, they made me drill over and over again those first couple times. So I remember putting my gear on. We had these big orange helmets that we used to wear as explorers. They were like hard hats with big face shields, and they were bulky and ridiculous. But it's, the memories that you you will never forget those simple little things.
Yeah. So you've served for 20 years. Tell me about the timeline, some of the roles that you've been in during your 20 years of service.
So over the 20 years, I was a secretary at one point on the executive board. I served as vice president on the executive board. But really, I always wanted to be an officer, and I had struggles becoming an officer. There was a little opposition. The first time I ran for officer, I ran for lieutenant, and someone ran against me, and I lost. And it was very disheartening, but I put it to the back burner for a few years. And I was a mom at that point. I had 2 young girls, and I had other focuses in life. And I was still riding the fire trucks like I always wanted to do. And so I kind of put that to the side for a few years and I just kept doing my thing. I kept going on fire calls and just trying to do what I could for the community. So eventually an opportunity came up where I could come and run for officer again. So I did. And I stepped into the role as lieutenant, and that was in March of 2018.
What have you learned about yourself as a firefighter?
So, really, I learned how to overcome obstacles. Every turn here as a female, there's another obstacle. When we get fitted for gear, that's something that males would take for granted to easily be fit for gear. But for us, it's an obstacle to get properly fit for gear, properly fit for boots, even gloves. I have a problem with because I have short fingers. So it really just taught me to overcome and adapt. The old saying from Fire One, firefighters overcome and adapt. It really is. Every day you wake up and you overcome whatever obstacle is thrown at you for the day.
And you've been doing it for 20 years. So, what does belonging to this fire company mean to you?
This fire company is my family. This is my fire family. I have known many of these firefighters since I was born. The guys above me have been nothing but supportive to me. So it really is like my uncles and second fathers guiding me at every turn, always supporting me. I don't know if I would be able to do what I do if I wasn't here and I didn't have the support of these guys that have been supporting me since I was little.
Wonderful. So, if a friend or a stranger told you that they were considering becoming a firefighter, what would you tell them?
If anybody considered becoming a firefighter and they approached me, especially a female, I would tell them to go for it. But male or female, it doesn't matter. If you have that thought in your head that this might be something that you want to do, I support it 100%. Go for it. Try to find a volunteer fire company near you to learn what it's all about. This is the best place. I like to say that the volunteer fire service is the melting pot. We have people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds. People have different career paths, and everybody brings something different to the fire service, especially as volunteers. So I support it 100%.
So, what's been the most rewarding part?
The kids. The kids are by far the most rewarding thing about being a firefighter. When you go to the schools and you see the same kids and you watch them grow up like they're yours, and you see the kids driving when you're driving to a fire call and you see the kids
Waving.
on the side of the road, mesmerized by the fire trucks. It's always been about the kids for me.
That public image is the best PR
Oh yeah.
for recruiting. So, aside from any gender issues, what's been the most challenging moment that you've faced?
Aside from gender issues, that's a tough one. I think as a firefighter, just in general, it would really be balancing family life. That's the
Okay.
biggest obstacle for me
Okay.
because I am a mom and that comes first always. And it's different being a fire chief and a mom. A lot of guys understand what it's like to be a fire chief and a dad, but not many people understand what it's like to be a fire chief and a mom. You never get to turn anything off, you know?
And that's one of my questions for you later. But let's go there now. You are volunteer firefighter. You're the fire chief. You're the fire inspector in the district. Your husband's a firefighter in the same company. Do you ever get to turn it off?
So the past year, I've had to really make a conscious effort with the support of my officers who support me so much. With the support of the officers underneath me, I've been able to take weekends away with my family. Just this weekend that's coming up, my husband and I will be celebrating an anniversary for us. So we'll be going away, and my officers are very supportive. They, understand that I need the break away for the weekend to just, regenerate and relax.
After hours at home, when the pager goes off, do you find between you and your husband, do you have to decide who's leaving and who's staying?
Yes. So there's been many times where one of us is putting the youngest to bed, and we look at each other and say, "Oh, well, I'm putting her to bed. So this one's yours, and then the next one will be mine." But we
Okay.
alternate as best we can.
That's an interesting challenge. From the gender perspective, tell me what it's been like from your start 20 years ago through today as a female in a space that is overwhelmingly male.
So I think the biggest shock for as far as the gender aspect goes comes from the public still. So me joining the fire company here as an explorer at 14 wasn't as big of a shock to the members inside as it is to the public outside. So I drove the chief's car, and someone asked me if my husband was the fire chief.
And I'm even thinking about this myself. I think the world's accustomed to seeing female firefighters, but that's a good point. Seeing the female get out of the chief's drivers.
Yeah, I've been asked multiple times if I was allowed to drive the chief's car because my husband was the fire chief.
Wow. Wow. How do you handle that?
I laugh it off. I think it's hilarious. My normal response is, "No, I'm the fire chief." And the look of shock that I get a lot is so funny to me, because I don't think anybody means anything bad by it. It's just everybody's so accustomed to men in the service in general. And then to see a female fire chief is just a huge shock to them. And most of the time, when we go on fire calls and I'll see women in office spaces and things like that, and they'll be cheering me on from the sidelines as we're responding to a fire call. So I see a lot of people shocked, but in a good way, that they see me in the fire chief vehicle.
Your father's a firefighter here. Your brothers are both firefighters. It's a bit of a family tradition. Is there any competitiveness between the three of you?
No, I don't feel competitive against them at all, because I think that we all support each other the best way. When I joined here as a firefighter, my oldest brother, was a volunteer here. And he moved around to a bunch of fire departments, but having him here as I was going through Fire One and I was facing those initial challenges, he actually helped me overcome a lot of the obstacles that I faced, because I would go to him and say, "AJ, I'm struggling with this." And he'd say, "Okay, well, if that's not working for you, let's go to the drawing board and let's figure out a way to make it work for you." So having him there to support me was so important, and it really helped me to face those initial struggles that I had. As far as my other brother, he is the chief of the neighboring fire department. So I don't feel competitive with him at all. He is also a chief of police at the local Middlesex College. So he has his hands full, and I want to do nothing but work together with him. And we are going to create an amazing space here in Island.
So both of you come from families that just can't turn it off.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. So do you hope this tradition continues in your family?
So I'm not sure if the tradition will continue in my immediate family with my three daughters, but my parents have 12 grandchildren. And of those 12 grandchildren, the oldest two are 20, and my niece Isabella just put in an application to this fire department, and we are so excited for her to start her journey here She's 20 years old, and she's going to be one of our few female firefighters here. And if she's the only one that does it out of all 12 of them, I will be happy that at least somebody continued the tradition and experienced the family tradition that we have.
Good luck to her. So, can you share a positive story or a moment from your time in the fire service that really stands out, that left a lasting impact on you?
So this might seem really simple and trivial, but this was one of the most important things that happened to me. I went to a conference, New Jersey International Association of Arson Investigators, which I'm a member of. The conference is in Atlantic City every year. And I went for my first time to that conference last year. And I saw an instructor that I had from probably about 10 years ago. And he recognized me and he remembered me. And we had a very nice conversation. He asked me for updates on where I was in the fire service. And he had been a really big supporter of mine while I was in his class that I took. And seeing that he remembered me just really makes me think about all the people who do support me. There's plenty of critics out there, but there's so much support of the same people who are there consistently. And just him remembering me was a reminder that I do have support. So even in the really hard times, I can think back to that moment and think of him and think of all the other people who support me so much from the beginning, the very beginning here.
So, looking back over the past 20 years of service, how has the fire service changed since you joined?
I think the community risks are different. That's the biggest change for me. Looking at the community risk assessments that we have to do and see what challenges we face as a department, especially as a leader. So I want to take a look at those and see where we need to serve the community best. So many years ago, we were doing extrications all the time, and now cars are made safer. So we don't do as many extrications anymore. But we still need to look at ways of what our calls are and where we need to serve the community. So it's constantly evolving. It's taking a look at, every year where our call volume is and what our risks are in the community and how we can properly serve them.
Okay. What do you think has stayed the same?
The tradition, the family values, the fire family. So a lot has changed in the fire service, and there's something to be said about tradition and the way that we do things here. We still have gold leaf on some of our fire trucks. That's fire service tradition, just to keep a little bit of that as we move on and get new trucks and, pass those traditions on to the next generation. Just those little things that you look for. But the tradition in the fire service, I hope won't ever change.
How has this shaped the rest of your life outside of the firehouse?
Do I have a life outside the firehouse?
Yeah.
So maybe the fire service helped shape my the way that I view things. I'm very fact-based. I always read. I look for evidence in things. I'm an investigator. So no matter what I do inside and outside of the firehouse, I'm looking for evidence behind the best way to go about it. Best practices always. Safety for my kids. Everything I do. I'm a safe driver too.
Looking forward, what advice would you give to the next generation of firefighters?
The next generation of firefighters, I hope, never stops learning. Always take the class, read the book, visit other firehouses. When you are open and accepting of the knowledge, you're open and accepting of new ideas and also people, because we all come from different walks. So the more that you learn, the more you respect different things and different people.
And what do you want people to understand about the fire service that they don't or may not see from the outside?
I think the biggest thing is that it's nothing like TV.
Yes, backdraft.
Yes, it is nothing like Chicago Fire. It's a fun show to watch, but it's just not realistic.
All right, last question for you. At the end of the day, what about being a firefighter puts a smile on your face?
I think the best part about being a firefighter for me is knowing that other females could see what I do, and it might open some doors for them. It might give them the view that they can do things that are outside the box. They don't have to fit and conform to what society tells them to, especially my kids. A I want them to look at me and say that they can do anything because mom did anything. But I want that to be a view of other people too.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much.